Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all having an amazing week. Now, just the other day we got the Mandalorian Season 3 finale that really kind of stuck itself out in comparison to the past 7 episodes in my opinion. It really had a better production value, better cinematics, better dialogue and action and visual effects. It just really stood out for me. It really had a very movie-esque style to it, with, of course, making, of course, everything related to Moff Gideon in such a villainous way, and all these different revelations. But I gotta say, one thing about Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and what they've been saying lately about Mando Season 3, has been very revealing. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, yes, we do know that Kathleen Kennedy has been doing a lot of things that have been gaining a lot of criticism among fans, such as what she has been doing with Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte. And those two projects in particular, I will say, from the footage that was shown at Celebration, the trailers specifically, it didn't really catch my interest all that much. I'm not trying to be pessimistic or negative just for the sake of being like that. I just really didn't feel all that much for those projects, judging by those trailers, but that's just me. Now, the thing about Skeleton Crew is where things get a little bit messy, because it does involve Pedro Pascal. We touched on this just yesterday. It's a ever-developing scenario that has happened behind closed doors over at Lucasfilm between Kathleen Kennedy, Pedro, the cast and the crew, and more. Now, with the, of course, Mandalorian Season 3 now over and how it came to a close, a lot of fans are really wondering where Season 4 is gonna go, but that brings us to the main subject, the whole Pedro Pascal fired situation from one specific project, and I say one project, one show. He's not fired entirely or anything like that. So, with Disney CEO Bob Iger making many changes to the Star Wars franchise, it's described that recently with the Pedro Pascal fired situation that erupted from Kathleen Kennedy for the Skeleton Crew show that spanned a couple of months from getting rid of him from making a cameo, it's described that the major factor behind all of this happening and the root to it all had to do with the fact that Kathleen Kennedy was trying to label Pedro Pascal as a voice actor. However, there is more to it than just that. That in, of course, itself had to do with the fact that Kennedy wanted to lower Pedro's pay grade drastically for his 2 big cameos in Skeleton Crew as a show. One of which involved him fighting alongside Jude Law's character, who was a Jedi, we touched on this yesterday, and the other of which had to do with Din Djarin saving the children from a band of pirates on a jungle-like world. The pirates that you saw in Mando Season 3 are going to be in Skeleton Crew, so you can see that link there. Kathleen Kennedy is strictly trying to keep this show as a lower budget series in order to use the extra funds for the Acolyte reshoots that are taking place right now. Though Skeleton Crew is a small-scale series, Kennedy wanted to not show Pedro Pascal's face and refused to give him an unmasking scene in the show. Not just that, but she was also attempting to exclude many of the moments he had filmed for being in the suit or costume of Din Djarin, and only leaving the moments of which the suit, of course, included the stunt doubles, and how they came in to do the hefty work in order to make her pass of labeling him as a voice actor hold more validity to that reason. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, Skeleton Crew, as you all know, it's going to basically be an extension of The Mandalorian. It is going to be a Mandoverse series, alright? It's not going to be something like, for example, the Kenobi series or Andor. This is a strict Mandoverse show. So it takes place either before or after Mando Season 4. We're not quite sure exactly just yet where it takes place, but it's going to take place right around that time frame. Now, given that Din Djarin was supposed to be in Skeleton Crew and Pedro had shot some scenes for 2 very big cameos, very important cameos, by the way, but he wanted to be unmasked in one of those cameos at the very minimum. And Kathleen Kennedy refused that. She did not want anything to do with that. She wanted to keep the helmet on and really just label him as a voice actor, and even tried to get rid of all the scenes that he participated in inside of the costume and just leave it up to the stunt doubles doing the hefty work, like I said before, so that she could have more validity to claiming that he would only be labeled as a voice actor to lower his pay grade drastically. I don't know about you guys, but that's just very snaky. It's just very wrong. I don't know. Pedro Pascal is like a big actor now, and I know a lot of fans have criticism of the guy, based on, what he puts up on Twitter sometimes. Of course, everybody has their own different opinions and views on things in life, but regardless, you can't deny the fact that Pedro is practically becoming, or is already, near to it maybe, even possibly already is, an A-list actor. Alright, he's showing up in a lot of things now. He's in The Last of Us, he was in the hit comedy series with Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. All these different things are coming out year by year, and so I think it's just wrong for her to have so much ego and to be so, I guess you could say, narcissistic, to really think that Pedro deserved that, to just label him as a voice actor to lower his pay grade. Listen, look at it this way. If he showed his face, more people would probably tune in, right? I don't see any harm in doing that. I never really did. And you can see in Mando Season 3, given that we have learned that Kennedy had some very minor, connections to the development of that show, it's very much likely that that is why Din Djarin did not take off that helmet. It almost seemed like he wanted to, that he was about to. Bo-Katan took it off, a lot of others took it off, but nope, Din Djarin just could not take that helmet off. Anyways, on to the next thing. So as of now, Pedro will no longer be appearing in Skeleton Crew, as he strictly wanted to work without the helmet on for 2 reasons. The helmet gets very hot for Pascal during some fight scenes, and he wanted more limelight of himself and his likeness as an actor in Skeleton Crew, where his face would be shown. Pedro is reportedly growing tired of having the helmet on, and many times providing voiceover work for many hefty stunt scenes. Kennedy is currently putting in a new Mandalorian character to take his place. Makes you wonder, is it going to be Bo-Katan? Is it going to be somebody else? Who knows? It's supposedly a brand new Mandalorian character, but look, I won't be too surprised if it's going to be Bo-Katan. Let's just be real. She probably wants to have a very familiar face coming into the show to kind of gain fan interest. There's no doubt about that. So, this happened in a similar way to Mark Hamill. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Luke was also supposed to appear in Skeleton Crew, where basically Kennedy only wanted the hood over Luke's head, and that did not work out, and eventually she just cut out Luke Skywalker altogether from the Skeleton Crew series. There was supposed to be a moment in there where the Knights of Ren were going to make a cameo, and really kind of going up against Jude Law's character and the children, where Luke comes in to save the day and moves along quickly. A very short scene. This did not ultimately work out in the first draft of the script, as well as, of course, the early filming before the reshoots, got in place. So, this just goes to show you that anything that Kathleen Kennedy has any form of connection with ends up going wrong. And thankfully, guys, anything that's being produced, developed within the year of 2023, Kathleen Kennedy has no involvement in that so far, except for Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. So, we're safe with Ahsoka, we're safe with Mando Season 4, Ahsoka Season 2, and even all the other projects that have yet to have been announced, that will be, by the way, this September at D23. Anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to